All right, stand by, 30 seconds. Stand by, 15 seconds. You are listening live as we broadcast from beautiful Eagleville, Tennessee, where tonight's matchup features your Community Vikings taking on the Eagleville Eagles. I'm David Noles, and this is the Ball Network. History could be made tonight as these two teams have faced off a total of 16 times prior. Each time the Eagles have claimed victory with two close calls. Back in 2008, Eagleville took the victory by a final score of 27-26. And then another tight matchup took place back in 2018 when the Vikings rallied but fell short 35-30. Let's quickly recap last week's games. Eagleville hosted Providence Christian Academy, dropping the contest 28-21. PCA led at the half 21-7, but the Eagles made some key halftime adjustments to climb back into it. The Eagles outscored the Lions in the second half 14-7, but could not muster one more score to even the game, and ultimately lost 28-21. Meanwhile, the Vikings hosted the Moore County Raiders. Moore County jumped on the Vikings early with a special team score and ran away with it from there, totaling 42 points by halftime. Community did get on the board in the second half, but could not overcome the Raiders, who won by a final of 42-7. Now let's turn our attention to our spotlight athletes of the game. The spotlight athletes of the game are brought to you by Podbean. Podbean is an easy and powerful way to create, promote, and monetize your broadcast. Try Podbean today. These are the players we project that will have to be in the spotlight for their respective teams to pull off the victory. For the Vikings, on the defensive side of the ball, senior nose tackle number 2, Brandon Richardson, has to help control the line of scrimmage. The battle up front will be huge for both of these teams, as Eagleville is a run-first offense, and it all starts with Richardson and that senior-laden defensive line. For the Vikings offense, senior fullback number 0, Isaac Jacobs. He has to be the go-to guy that the offense leans on. Jacobs will need to hang on to the football and concentrate on being effective between the tackles. If Jacobs can have success pounding the rock, it will definitely help open up things on the perimeter. Now for the Eagles. On offense, they have a two-headed monster when they go to the two-back set, with both Jordan and Solomon getting 100 yards each rushing last week. However, the one to watch is senior number 4, Jonathan Jordan. The offense really starts with him, and if he gets going, watch out. It could be a long night. Defensively for Eagleville, Jordan is equally important as he recorded 7 tackles last week, but keep an eye on number 21, junior cornerback Drake Romanisky. He has ball hawking skills and is not a bad tackler himself. Against PCA, he grabbed an interception and also looked very tough in coverage. So those are your spotlight players of the game, brought to you by Podbean. Podbean is an easy and powerful way to create, promote, and monetize your broadcast. Try Podbean today. We will pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Ball Network. So real quick, before the teams come out, we'll do the keys to the game. For the Vikings, win the turnover battle. Community cannot afford to be careless with the football and put the ball on the ground. And secondly, discipline. The Vikings just need to run the offense. Be disciplined, be patient. The wing tee is like Novocaine. If you give it time, it always works. For the Eagles, the keys to the game, jump out early. Last week, they really didn't get anything rolling until the second half. They cannot afford to do that tonight. If you hear anything in the background, it's just fireworks, folks. Secondly, for the Eagles, the second key, stack the box. The Vikings want to run and shorten the game. Eagleville needs to force Community and a long down and distance, making them go to the air early and often. Eagleville is making their way onto the field as they get their banner arranged. And we'll look real quick. The captains for Community, number 0, Isaac Jacobs, number 4, Davion High, and number 56, Jace Matthews. Looking across the way, I am on the away side, so I am facing the sun, but the captains, looks like number 20, 23, 19 for Eagleville. So that would be Grant Cooper, number 20. Number 23 is Thomas Solomon. Number 19 is Parker Futrell. And they do have an honorary captain who is injured, and that is number 77, Jed Fan. So the captains meet at midfield. And there is the coin toss. And let's see what the officials signal to us. He is still explaining some instructions. Now there's the toss. And it looks like Eagleville has won the toss. And Eagleville will defer to the second half. So Community obviously will be receiving to start the football game. And Eagleville will put their backs to the north side, and we'll get this thing underway. We will pause 10 seconds again for station identification. We will be back for the kickoff. So we're back. The captains now joining the rest of the team, and they're about ready to come out. Both teams now lined up behind their banners. And here they come, wherever you listen, around the world. It's football time in Community. So if you're joining us late, Eagleville won the toss and they decided to defer, so Community will be receiving to start the football game. Let's see if we can get a long drive going. Eat some clock and cash in. So the scoreboard says about 1:50 until kickoff. See if we've got the same gentleman back to receive as we did last week, and it looks like it will be. Yes, it is. Number 4, Davion High. Number 0, Isaac Jacobs. And number 1, Bryce Blanton are the 3 gentlemen back to receive. 2. So Eagleville will line up. Let's see who they come out with for the kicking duties. Unfortunately, Coach Walker could not meet with me earlier in the week. So we are going into this one blind, and kicking off is number 44, Alex, and he's got a mouthful of a last name, but it's pronounced Borabozen. So Borabozen will be the man to kick off for Eagleville. They're lined up, they're ready, and here's the kickoff. Back to take it is Blanton. And a good return out to right at about, I apologize. Looks like he's close to the okay, it's the 32-yard line. Unfortunately, the field is not been painted recently, you can tell. So the lines are very, very faded. Maybe it'll be a little bit better once when the sun goes down. But here comes the community offense. 1st and 10 from the 32. A little bit of a different look as the quarterback is the backup. Back to pass, and he throws it over the head of Jacobs. Actually, starting at quarterback tonight was number 11, Caden Hensel. He's a freshman. So a little wrinkle there, as I noticed he was warming up in the pregame, but did not know that he was getting the start. So at quarterback, number 11, Caden Hensel. Freshman, he's just listed as a defensive back on the roster. But he gets the nod at starting quarterback this week, and we'll see how things fly here in the wing tee. Long huddle. They are still huddling. 18 seconds on the play clock, and they're finally coming to the line. Interesting, too, that he is in the shotgun formation. He is not under center. Handoff goes to Garman. Garman tries to run it off the right tackle and bounce it outside, and not much doing. Tackle was made by number 20, Grant Cooper, for Eagleville. So we're looking at about a 3rd and 9 as Garman picks up 1 on that one. Try to go between the tackles and bounce it outside, and there was just nowhere to go. So something that we talked about in the pregame, we didn't want to get into these long down and distances, and here we are. It is 3rd and 9. 11-10 to go here in the first. We have no score. Hensel in the shotgun formation. Man in motion goes from right to left. Hensel back to pass. Looking, going to throw long downfield, and that is intercepted. It is intercepted at the 50. And it breaks back to the 45. He's to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, and he's finally drugged down. I believe it was Jacobs to make the tackle for Community. The interception by number 9, a sophomore, Kason Puffer. So that is returned all the way back to the Community 11. And again, we talked about executing. We talked about the turnovers, and right off the bat, they give up a huge play there as Hensel threw it deep into triple coverage. There was no white jersey that I saw, and it was picked off. So Eagleville now will start out with it on their first drive offensively of the game. Let's see what they come out in. Got it tight end to the left, shotgun formation. Back is to the right, twins to the right-hand side, and it's a keeper running out to the left-hand side. Jacobs giving chase, and he can't get to him. He gets to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Eagleville. And that was just, it looked like a design quarterback keep, as Marshall Fields was the one lined up at quarterback, number 2. He's a senior for Eagleville. He took the direct snap, and then he just basically outran him to the pylon. So one play, 10:32 to go here in the first. It's 6-0 Eagles. Snapping will be Cooper. Holding will be Blair. And the field goal attempt will be by Borobozen. The snap is down. The kick is on the way. The kick is up, and it is good. So timeout on the field with 10:32 to go in the first. It is Eagleville 7, Community nothing. Again, tonight's broadcast brought to you by Podbean. It's an easy and powerful way to create, promote, and monetize your broadcast. Try Podbean today. So 10:32 to go here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, it is 7-0. An interception that was returned by Case and Puffer down to right at about the 11-yard line. And then it only took one play. It was a direct snap to number 2, Marshall Fields, and he takes it in for an 11-yard scamper to pay dirt. And that's where we're at right now, 7-0 Eagleville. So we'll get our second kickoff of the night and see if we can get some decent field position here. Laura Bozen is the man for the Eagles to kick off. Same 3 back to take it for Community. It's Blanton, Jacobs, and High. There is the kickoff, and it's going to be taken by Blanton this time. Picks it up at about the 15 to the 20, runs to the right-hand side, and he is really taking a shot there as the tackle looked like it was made by number 22, Ben Barch. Or excuse me, I guess it was number 9, Case and Puffer. Puffer was in on the tackle. Cooper was right beside him. So now Community with their second offensive drive. Ball resting at about, looks like the 31, if I can see this correctly. Or no, the 26, I'm sorry. So again, it's a wrinkle. They're in the shotgun, but Haskins, the starting quarterback from last week, is the man that's in there. Haskins hands off, goes to Butler. Butler trying to cut on the left-hand side, and he gets nothing. Not much there. As he tried to break it out to the left-hand side. Might as well call it 2nd and 10, or 2nd and, looks like 2nd and 8. So Fair, the man coming into the huddle there to bring the play. Again, we started out the first drive with number 11, Caden Hensel, the freshman, at quarterback, and now Haskins is back in there for Community. He's got 2 backs, 1 on each side. Haskins in the shotgun formation. Now man in motion goes from left to right. Haskins going to roll out, looking, nowhere to go, and he is sacked. Just nowhere to go. So a loss of 4. It's going to be 3rd and 12 and another long distance situation for the Vikings. 8:53 to go, 7-0. Eagleville leads it. This is the second drive for Community. First one resulted in an interception. Kason Puffer was the man to pick it off for Eagleville, and let's see if we can get something going here. Paskowitz, the wide receiver to the right, and now whistles, and we have a timeout. A little bit of a confusion on the Community side, and it's timeout Vikings. That is their first. So 8:29 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0. Eagleville leads it. They're able to pick up a turnover and then return it all the way down to the 11. And then Marshall Fields took a direct snap and then raced to the pylon on the left-hand side and was able to get there before Jacobs, the linebacker, could stop him. And that is the scoring summary thus far. So let's see what Coach Tidwell comes up with here. It is 3rd and 12. And if anything, you'd like to just keep the drive alive to, A, waste some clock, because you do want to be a ball control offense tonight. But more importantly, you've just got to get some confidence. So they come out again, shotgun formation. You got two wings. Haskins rolling out to the left, throws long downfield. He's got a man, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. It was intended for number 0, Isaac Jacobs, at the 45-yard line. But to be honest, he really didn't have a fair shot at it. Haskins just threw it up for grabs. He was under duress. So that brings us to 4th and 12. Clock will stop due to the incompletion. So 8:20 to go here in the first. And the Vikings will be punting it away. Trying to get my eyes on who's punting, and it's actually the backup quarterback, number 11, Caden Hensel. That's not a bad one as it hits down at the 50, taken at the 45, 45-50, 45-40, and finally knocked out of bounds by number 0, Isaac Jacobs. The return was by number 1, Carter Blair. He is a junior for Eagleville. So nice return by that young man, and they're already in community territory. And the ball officially marked at, well, it's just short of the 39-yard line of community. So this will be the second drive for the Eagleville offense. So far, they're batting 1,000. They've ran one play. They've scored. So we'll finally get to take a look at Benton Fox, the starting quarterback. He's in shotgun formation. We've got two receivers to the right, one to the left, and he's got a back lined up to the right of him, tight ends also to the left. Handoff in the backfield goes to Solomon. Solomon, good sled right there, but there is a flag down. He picked up about 6 or 7, but there's a flag. Not sure who it's going to be on. And it is going to be against Eagleville. I believe it was holding. Keep in mind, there was no room in the press box, so they had me set up here on the away side, so the referee is facing away from me. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, but it did look like it was a holding call there, and that will back it up to the 49. So 1st and 20. Let's see what Eagleville does with it. So the ball resting at the 49 of community. 1st and 20 for the Eagles. Come out in the same formation, two receivers to the right, solo receiver to the left, along with a tight end. Shotgun formation, the running back is lined up to the right. Fox, again, a handoff to Solomon, left side, and he is brought down. Big-time tackle by Haskins. Picked up 2, but he tried his best to just slide off the block there and pick him up at the line. I think he gives up a little bit of weight to Solomon, but he makes the tackle. 2nd and 18, big drive for the Vikings. Got to get a stop here. You've got them in a long down-and-distance situation. Eagles come out. Now they have twins to the left-hand side, so they've flopped the formation. Single receiver up top is number 2, Marshall Fields. Shotgun formation. Back is to the leftist side this time. Back to pass. Fox looking. He's looking for Fields, and he's wide open as the defender slipped, and Marshall Fields has found the end zone for a second time tonight. Touchdown, Eagleville. It was just a simple go route down the right-hand side of the field, and Fox just threw it up there and said, "Go get it, young man." And unfortunately, the defender slipped, and Fields, all he had to do was catch it and then finish the last 20 yards into the end zone. So the score, 13-0, extra point. Snap down, the kick is on the way. The kick is good. So Boren knocks through his second extra point of the night. And with timeout on the field, 6:46 to go here in the first, it's Eagleville 14, Community nothing. So at the beginning of the broadcast, if you missed it, we talked about the keys of the game, and right now, almost spot on. I mean, we talked about execution for Community, and unfortunately, defensively, they've already had some miscues. We said that we had to win the turnover battle, and unfortunately, we're already behind in it, -1, as the interception led to the early score. So 6:46 to go here in the first quarter. It is 14-0. Eagles leading over the Vikings. So Bora Bozone getting ready to kick off for Eagleville. Back to take it. It's the same trio as they've had. Davion High is over to the left-hand side. Isaac Jacobs is the man in the middle. And then they have number 1, Bryce Blanton, the junior, off to the left-hand side. So here is the kickoff. And back to take it is definitely going to go to Jacobs. And it keeps rolling. He was going to let it go. Now he's got to pick it up because it didn't get into the end zone. And he is crushed. Another big-time hit. The tackle made by number 34, Michael Green, on special teams. Jacobs with a decent return down the right-hand side of the field. It looked like he wanted to try to let it go through the end zone, and then the ball just died on him, and it wasn't going to make it. So a wise decision to at least pick it up and make out of it what you can. So the ball resting at the 22-yard line of Community. And let's see who comes out at quarterback on this drive. And we are back to Hensel, the freshman, shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the right-hand side. He's going to hand off to Butler. Butler, not much. Not much as they hand off, and he tries to squirt through the right-hand side. May have picked up 1. We'll call it 2nd and 9. The sun has finally gone down, so that helps tremendously. If you're just joining us, we are on the away side. And unfortunately, the field has not been painted, so it's even more difficult to be able to make this out. But we do thank everyone for joining the broadcast tonight. So Community with the football, 2nd and 8. Handoff up the gut, and that's to Garmin. That's the first time we've called his name tonight. So 5:30 to go here. Severin Garmin finally getting his first carry of the game, and he picks up a couple. Looks like it's about 3rd and 5, or 3rd and a long 4. Community has not converted yet on an offensive drive here, so we desperately need the first down. Shotgun formation. Looked like some movement up front, and now here come the whistles. So we have a false start penalty, and again, it's the little things. So that'll mark them back 5. It'll be 3rd and 9. So a situation where you had something manageable, 3rd and 4, and then you've shot yourself in the foot. And here we are again. So 3rd and 9, 4:45 to go. 14-0, Eagleville leads it. Shotgun formation for Hensel. 2 wings. Goes in motion. Now he's back to pass. Looks, and he had a man open, but he overthrew him. And Haskins was actually lined up wide, and he was right there at the chains, but unfortunately Hensel could not connect with him, and it falls incomplete. So 4th and 9. Clock will stop with 4:30 to go here in the first. 14-0. Eagleville leads it. So Community in the punt formation. And it is Hensel. Not a bad punt. They call for a fair catch at the 50-yard line. And Puffer makes the catch cleanly. So, great field position again for Eagleville as they have the 2-touchdown lead. And so far, it's been the Marshall Field show. He has 2 scores. He caught the long pass. He also has the 11-yard scamper into the end zone. So just like that, 14-0. And Community running someone onto the field late. Let's see if the defense can get settled up. Shotgun formation for Fox. Has a tight end and a wing to the left and single receivers to both sides. Handoff, and that is the first time that they've handed off to Jonathan Jordan, and he's been very effective as he scampers for right at about 15 yards, but there is a flag, and I believe it's going to be coming back. And it is against Eagleville. Jordan took it and burst through on the right-hand side, and it looked like the holding was a pretty obvious call there. So Eagleville trying to help Community out a little bit. And, of course, it's from the spot. But that does move it back to the 49 of Eagleville. So 4:11 to go, 14-0. And because of where the holding penalty took place, it's going to be first and about 11, really. Come out with a tight end and wing, solo receivers to both sides. The back is to the left-hand side of Fox. He's in the shotgun formation. Now he's going to change the play. And now there looks to be some confusion. And I believe we're going to have a timeout. What do we have here, Mr. Official? Yes, timeout Eagleville. So timeout with 4:11 to go here in the first. It is 14-0 Eagles. So we come back out of the timeout. Ball resting at the 49 of Eagleville. 1st and 11 due to the penalty. Shotgun formation. Fox back to pass. Looking, going to throw long downfield. It's the same route, and it is knocked away incomplete. Is there a flag? I thought there may have been some laundry, but it was intended for Fields. Hensel, the poor freshman, is the man that's having to lock horns with him, but incomplete, no flag. So 2nd and 11. That is going to be a tough task tonight, that matchup. Number 11, Hensel, versus number 2, Fields, a freshman against a senior. Same formation, solo receivers to both sides, tight end and wing to the left. Handoff, and I thought another holding penalty. Yeah, there's the flag. And a big-time run as Jonathan Jordan took off down the left-hand side and was brought down inside the 10, but there was a hold way, way back. And that will negate the run. Community up front is not playing bad with the 3 down linemen. There has been a ton of holding. That is the 3rd holding penalty on Eagleville thus far. So again, we talked about miscues, and Eagleville starting to shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. Again, the 3rd holding penalty of the night. So now it's going to be second and about a country mile. As they march this thing off, let's see where they finally, because it's from the spot of the hold. So we'll call it 2nd and 16 from right at about the 43-yard line. 3:51 to go here in the first. It's 14-0. Eagleville leads it. Marshall Fields, the man of the hour, he has scored twice for the Eagles. So they come out this time. They have twin receivers to the right-hand side. Well, they got twins to both sides. Fox, little screen pass, goes to Fields. Fields has got it at the 45, he's to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, 35, he's to the 30, down the sideline, 25-20, 15-10, nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Eagleville. Marshall Fields, his third of the night. And with 3:16 to go here in the first quarter, it is 20-0, Marshall Fields. So number 44, Alex Borobozen, will come on to attempt the extra point. Snapping will be Cooper. Holding will be Blair. Snap is down. The kick is on the way. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 3:12, the fireworks explode. And if you're a Marshall Fields fan, fireworks have exploded for that young man all night, as it is 21-0. He's responsible for all three scores. There's a little timeout on the field, and we will take it with them. Again, 3:12 to go here in the first quarter. It is 21-0 Eagleville over Community. It's very interesting here at Eagleville. They have a light show that takes place while we are in between plays waiting on the kickoff here. So fireworks, light show, pretty impressive for a 1A school. They do it right. The field looks good. Need a little bit of paint on those numbers to help out the media folks here, but other than that, it's been solid. 3:12 to go here in the first, 21-0. Eagleville leads it. Marshall Fields has displayed an amazing amount of speed, and there is the kickoff. Back to take it, and it is fumbled momentarily, but High picks it up, has nowhere to go, finally tries to bounce it out to the right-hand side, and he is knocked out of bounds. Let's see where they mark him. They mark him back a little bit further than what I thought there in the beginning. So it looks like it's right at it's going to be the 27-yard line. I thought he got pushed out closer to the 34, but obviously they did not agree with me. So the ball resting at the 27, 1st and 10. Community. So they're back to the double wing. Haskins under center. Handoff. Jacobs didn't get much. In fact, he may not have even gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but we'll still call it 2nd and 10. .240 and counting. Community with the football at their own 27-yard line. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Haskins under center, double wing. He'll hand off on the end around to Garmin, and Garmin is tripped up, and he is met, and he has lost the football. I believe the ball came out. And Community is back on it. So not much on that one as well. We're still going to call it, well, he may have picked up one. We'll call it 3rd and 9. So another long down and distance for the Vikings. 1:56 to go here in the first. 21-0. Eagleville with the lead. And the officials' whistles being blown. And what do we have here? They're going to take Garman out. The officials are going to make him exit. And Noah Land, number 26, will come in for him. They're going to take a look at him. He got up and he looked a little shaken. So maybe they're just making sure that everything's okay there. Sole receiver to the left-hand side. Shotgun formation. Haskins looking. Haskins going to throw. He's got a man. Jacobs was open, and he let him just a little too much. He would have had the first down because it was right at the sticks, but unfortunately could not come up with it. Good route ran, and Haskins actually had decent protection on that one, but he tried to get the out route going with Jacobs there and just unfortunately led him too far. So Hensel back to punt for Community. Community runs a man on late. Now I think they've got 11. Good snap. And he's going to fake it. And he is not going to get it, unfortunately. Hensel, I'm not sure if that was called. It was a good snap. He ran out to the right-hand side. I don't think that he had too much pressure, but unfortunately he tucks and runs and comes up short. So a turnover on downs, unfortunately, and the ball resting at the 30 of Community. 21-0 is our score. Again, on that punt, sort of threw me off a little bit. Did not expect the fake. I don't know if that was a planned fake, as Hensel was rolling out to the right and tucked it and tried to get what he could get, but unfortunately could not get the first down. So now the Eagleville offense takes over again. Shotgun formation. Handoff goes to Solomon, and Solomon on the right-hand side is finally brought down as he picks up a huge chunk of real estate. That's going to be enough for the first down. In fact, he picked up 10 right on the money, the ball resting on the 20-yard line. So again, the shotgun formation for Benton Fox. Low snap, but he picks it up, gets it off to Solomon, who's right up the gut, and he is going to battle all the way down the right-hand sideline. Did he get in the end zone, or did he step out of bounds? I think he finally got shoved out of bounds down that right-hand sideline. And let's see where they mark him at. It looks like he stepped out at the 2 or got shoved out at the 2. Big time run by Solomon, 18-yard scamper. And this is what we talked about earlier in the pregame. Thomas Solomon had over 100 yards last week. Jonathan Jordan had over 100 yards as well. So the two-headed monster in the backfield starting to pick up here with 32 seconds to go in the first. Shotgun formation. They'll hand off, go to the left-hand side this time. No trouble at all. Solomon, touchdown, but there is a flag. Thomas Solomon is in the end zone, but it is going to be on Eagleville, so that will nullify the touchdown. So a holding call on Eagleville. That is their 4th holding call of just the first quarter. 25 seconds to go, 21-0. Eagleville was looking to cash in again, but unfortunately a hold call put the brakes on that. So 1st and 12 Well, technically it's still first and goal, but it's backed up at the 12-yard line. My apologies. Shotgun formation for Fox. He's got Puffer, the receiver, number 9 to the left-hand side, and now flags again. And a false start as someone moved early up front for the Eagles. So move them back another 5. And now it will be first and goal from the 17. Handoff. Goes to Solomon on the right-hand side, and a good play there. Does it look like Richardson was on the tackle for Community? So a pickup of 1 there, and that should bring us to the end of the quarter. They will let the clock expire. So we have played 1. We've got the first quarter in the books. With your score, Eagleville 21, Community nothing. We'll take a quick break, and we will be back with the second quarter.
At the end of the first quarter, your score, Eagles 21, Vikings 0. Eagleville has the ball second and goal. To start the second quarter.
All right, so we'll get the second quarter underway. My apologies. Having some issues with the clock here. Have to reset the play clock, so the officials have stopped everything, and now we're good to go. Marshall Fields lined up to the right-hand side, shotgun formation for Fox. They have a tight end and a wing to the right-hand side. The back is lined up to the left as Solomon. Fakes the throw. Now he's going to pump fake throws. End zone wide open. Touchdown, number 9, Puffer. Touchdown, Eagleville. Just a nice little pump fake there by Fox. And then he throws into the corner of the end zone. And Puffer was pretty much standing alone. So now Borobosen coming on for the extra point. Snapping will be Cooper. Holding will be number 1, Blair. Snap down. The kick is on the way. The kick is up, and it is good. So we just got the second quarter underway. 11:52 to go in the first half. It is 28-0, Eagleville. So 11:52 to go here in the first half. 28-0. Eagleville leads it. Had a touchdown pass there complete to Puffer. And then 3 scores by Fields. And that's where we stand. Kicking off for Eagleville, number 44, the sophomore, Alex Borabozen. Back to take it. The same trio as always. And Jacobs will take the kickoff. And now a burst of speed through the middle. And a good return all the way down to the 39-yard line. But he did cough it up. It did look like the ball came out late there. Who's got it? And Eagleville has recovered. So a fumble by Jacobs. And now the officials are talking. And he has corrected it. So the head official overturns the call. And community will keep it. The ball did come out late. It's hard to see with that pile of humanity if Jacobs was down or not. But at this point, you'll take the benefit of the doubt. So community keeps it. The ball resting right at about the 30. I'm having a hard time seeing these numbers. I apologize. We'll call it the 38. They come out. Handoff goes to Land. Land on the right-hand side. And the wing back with a nice little carry there. Jonathan Jordan, number 4, on the tackle for Eagleville. Land with the carry. Picked up about 4. We'll call it 2nd and 6. 11:19 to go. 28-0. Eagleville leads it. Community to the line. And at quarterback, we're back to Haskins. And he's going to have a keeper to the right-hand side. He loses the football. The ball is loose. And let's see who jumped on it. I was hoping maybe it was knocked out of bounds there. Jordan was the one to create the pressure. Haskins had nowhere to go, but they still have not signaled anything. And apparently Haskins was out, or at least the ball was out before it was recovered by Jordan. So community will keep it. But now the ball is all the way back at the 34-yard line. And it's looks like third and about 14, we'll call it. Ball resting at the community 34. They have not, to my recollection, been in enemy territory tonight. So another long down and distance, 3rd and 14. Haskins in the shotgun. Man in motion goes from left to right. Haskins going to sling it long downfield. He had a man open, but instead it should have been intercepted. Caden Maloney, the junior for Eagleville, had it in his hands, and he collided with one of his own players, one of his own teammates, and it jarred it loose, so he does not get the pick. So community cannot convert on the 3rd down, and they will be in another punting situation again. 4th and 14. The incompletion stops the clock. 10:43 to go here in the second. 28-0. Eagleville. Back to punt is Hensel, the freshman. Last time, it was either a called fake or he just thought he was being pressured so much he needed to tuck it and run. Let's see what happens on this one. Hensel is back, rolls to the right, does get the punt away, hits down at the 50, is going to roll to the 45, and it dies at the Eagleville 42-yard line. So that's where they'll take over. And again, all night long, Eagleville has had unbelievable field position. Community has just not been able to flip the script on them. So we're going to see the backup quarterback for Eagleville, and that is number 21, a junior, Drake Remenitsky. So Remenitsky in the shotgun formation. He's got two receivers to the right-hand side. And a fumble in the backfield as the exchange was fumbled. Remenitsky gets on it, but then is brought down. Looked like Jace Matthews was the man to jump on him, number 56 for Community. So a loss of, well, we'll call it a loss of 3. He's 2nd and 13. 10:08 to go. It is 28-0. Eagleville leads it. They have gone to the backup quarterback, Drake Remenitsky, and he fumbles on the first exchange. Twin receivers to the right-hand side. Also got a tight end and a solo one on the other. Shotgun formation. Handoff. And that is a nice run there by Jonathan Jordan as he gets outside to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. No one's going to catch him. And this time, I don't see a flag. Touchdown, Eagleville. 34 points for Eagleville so far with 9:28 to go. And Jordan just simply made his way to the outside, ran it off tackle. Nobody had an angle, and he outruns the bunch. 34-0 our score, 9:28 to go. Alex Borobosen on for the extra point try. Snapping will be Cooper. Holding will be Blair. Snap down. The kick is on the way. The kick is up. And that thing is right down the gut. 35-0 with 9:28 to go here in the first half. So with 9:28 to go here in the first half, it's 35-0. They have definitely spread it around. Marshall Fields with 3 touchdowns. Jordan just scored a touchdown himself. He had one last week. And Puffer has made a reception for a score. And it is 35-0. Eagleville as they are ready to kick off. There's the kickoff taken by, well, Jacobs picks it up off the ground. And not a lot of blocking. He's got 5 Eagles in front of him. So Jacobs on the return. Grant Cooper in on the tackle for Eagleville. So Community will have it. 1st and 10. And the ball resting, it looks like right at the 16, if I'm looking at that correctly. So deep in their own territory. Now let's see what Community can come up with. course, keep in mind, if Eagleville can keep the 35-point cushion going into the third quarter, we will have the running clock. So it looks like we have Haskins in at quarterback on this drive, and now quickly a timeout called by Community, and the timeout comes right after you just had timeout on the field due to the kickoff. So 9:21 to go here in the first half, 35-0. Early, it was the Marshall Fields show with 3 scores by that young man. And then, of course, Puffer makes the catch on the following drive. And then Jordan with his first rushing touchdown of the night. Jonathan Jordan, tremendous player last week against PCA, had over 100 yards rushing. He also had 7 tackles on defense. So Jonathan Jordan had a great week last week, and he's continuing his good season tonight against Community. Timeout on the field by the Vikings. I do believe that they have 1 remaining. $9:21 to go, 35-0. Eagles lead it. Haskins comes out in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. The wing goes in motion, and this handoff to the wing, Butler, and he is stacked up and didn't get much. In fact, let's see if he got back to the line of scrimmage, see where they marked the football. He actually may have lost half a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 10. 9 minutes, clock running. Second quarter action here in Eagleville, Tennessee. They lead it 35-0. So Community to the line. Haskins all last week was under center. And he's going to throw a quick screen out to Jacobs, who breaks the tackle and unfortunately just cannot get any help and can't get past the line of scrimmage. And now a flag comes out because I think there's some unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know if it's going to be called on Jacobs or the defender. It looked like Caden Maloney, the junior for Eagleville, was over there in the scrum as well. I think it's going to be called on him. The officials are talking it over. It happened as he was bumped out of bounds, and it's going to be on Eagleville. I believe number 7, Caden Maloney, he gave a little bit of a shove, and I don't know if something was said over there, but the referee was right by the pile as they were getting knocked out of bounds. So it will result in a first down for the Vikings as the unsportsmanlike conduct goes against Eagleville, and that will move the ball just short of the 30-yard line. It's right at it. We'll call it the 29, 1st and 10 for Community. But interesting, I was going to point out earlier, and I think I was interrupted, Haskins all last week was under center, and now this week everything's from the shotgun. I don't know if that's to give him more time to read, maybe because the offensive line is young. Good handoff on the counter play. That goes to Garmin, and that was not a bad-looking play there. Jordan is the man to make the tackle for Eagleville. Garmin was on the run for Community. Picked up about 6. We'll call it 5. Second down due to the penalty. 2nd and 5. 7:19 remaining here in the first half. Haskins with the back to his right-hand side. Wing goes in motion. Handoff goes to Garmin, and he is wrapped up at the line. Big time tackle there made by number 57, Aaron Fearns. He's a junior for Eagleville, and he burst through the line and was able to make the tackle. So no gain there. We'll call it 3rd and 5. A manageable down and distance for Community. You have to convert these. And let's see what the Vikings roll with here on 3rd and 5, or we'll call it 3rd and 6. We got twin receivers to the left-hand side, a wing to the right. Wing goes in motion. Back will stay in. Pass is complete, and he's going to be short of the marker, though. It was complete to Richardson, but he is going to be just short of the marker, and you have no other choice. You've got to go for it. The route was close to the sticks, and then he started to curl in a little bit. So, unfortunately, by the time he made the catch and the tackle was made, it knocked him 2 yards short. And Community is actually going to punt it. 5:43 to go. It is 4th and 2. So you have a manageable situation here. And apparently Community is going to punt. Hensel is back to punt for the Vikings. And no, he's going to roll out to the right-hand side. It's a fake, and he throws, and it is. Is it complete? It's at the 45. Did he make the catch? He made it. First down, a completion to Noah Land across the 45. Oh, and now there's a flag. There's some laundry down, I do believe. They convert. Well, no, apparently now it's being called incomplete. So apparently they're saying Land did not make the catch. He was at the 45-yard line, would have been plenty enough for the first down. That's why it is interesting to have Hensel at the punting position, because with him being the backup quarterback, he can sling it, but apparently that was incomplete. So a turnover on downs. So the ball resting at the Community 37. Eagleville will take over. Let's see who they have at quarterback. I think it's Romaneski again. Noah Land runs onto the field for the Vikings defense late. Romaneski hands off, and that one is to Jeremiah Mooney. He is a sophomore, so he's seeing action tonight for the first time. Mooney picks up 9 running off, well, right between the guard and the tackle on the right-hand side. So good chunk of real estate for that young man. And it makes it 2nd and 1. 4:50 to go here in the first half, second quarter, 35-0. Community just went forward on a 4th and 2, thought they had it, and apparently the ball hit the carpet, incomplete. So here we stand, 2nd and 2. Eagleville trying to get lined up correctly. They got twins to the right-hand side, solo receiver to the left. Tight end is off to the left-hand side. Handoff, and I believe that went to Mooney. A good little run there, off tackle to the left-hand side. And we may have an injury timeout. Somebody shaken up. I believe that's Butler. And no, Community's just going to go ahead and use a timeout. I believe that is their allotment. I think that is 3 for them. 4:16 to go. Timeout here on the field. 35-0 Eagleville. And we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout with them. So with 4:16 to go here in the second quarter, it's 35-0 Eagles. We would like to thank everyone that is tuned in and listening to the broadcast. This is a one-man show. That's not bragging. That's just explaining sometimes why the broadcast is the way that it is. So we'll pick up with the action. 4:16 to go here in the second quarter. 35-0. Eagleville leads it. Shotgun formation for Romaneski. Low snap. It's quarterback keeper all the way. Rolling out to the right-hand side, and Community's got him wrapped up. Picks up 8 on that scamper to the right-hand side, and that was a quarterback keep all the way. Romaneski, a very tough runner. He is actually listed as a defensive back and a wide receiver. Of course, we know that he plays defense because he had a pick last week. But playing backup quarterback apparently tonight and running it quite effective after that first little miscue on his very first play. So they come out this time. Solo receiver to the left-hand side. They got a tight end to the right, and they've got 2 receivers to the right. The back is lined up. Mooney to the left-hand side. Fumbled snap, but Mooney picks it up, and he is going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Several Vikings there, but the tackle was made by number 52, Braxton Stacy, a junior for Community. And that'll bring up a 3rd and short. So let's see if the Vikings can come up with something here defensively and get the stop. 3rd and right at about 2. Scoreboard, there we go. I'll say scoreboard still had it 2nd down, but I was pretty sure it was 3rd. 2:48 to go, 35-0. Community with the lead, or excuse me, the Eagles with the lead. Vikings trying to come up with a stop here. 3rd and a long 2. Single receiver to the left-hand side. Mooney now lines up in an I formation behind Romaneski. And it'll be a handoff to Mooney. He's being pursued, and there's going to be a penalty. There's a holding call. I'm pretty sure Mooney gets enough for the first down, but there's a flag, and I believe there was a hold on the left side. So I believe this is coming back, and this will be, I've lost count, the 4th or the 5th holding penalty against the Eagles. Waiting for it to be official, but I'm almost positive that's what it is, and yes, indeed it is. Holding call. That will back things up, so the 3rd and 2 is going to become a 3rd and 12. So again, let's see if Community can hunker down and bow their necks. Third and 12, or if you want to call it 3rd and 13, it's a long yard there as it's in between the hash marks. Clock continues to run, 2:05 here in the 2nd quarter. Twins to the right-hand side. Solo receiver to the left. Mooney is to the left of the quarterback, Romaneski. He's going to throw a little pass, and that is complete out to the flats to number 41, Preston Petty, a sophomore. He makes the catch, and he gets about, I'd say, well, a little more than half of it back. We'll call it, it's going to be 4th and 3. As he picked up right at about 10 on that pass completion from Romaneski to Preston Petty. That's his first catch of the night. Clock runs, 1:18 to go here in the first half. 35-0. Eagles lead it. Romaneski in the shotgun. Single receiver to the left-hand side. Twins to the right. Also have a tight end to the left-hand side. Back to pass. Romaneski throws, and it is complete. And he is at the marker. So a completion to Preston Petty. He's got the first down. There is another flag. So let's wait and see what happens here. It was 4th and 2, and the completion was made to Petty. He's got the first down, depending on what the flag is. So the officials will get together. And it's a dead ball foul. It's a personal foul on Eagleville. So it'll be a first down because of the dead ball foul, but it does back them up 15 yards. That is the second penalty of that type. We've had an unsportsmanlike conduct earlier in the game. Pretty sure that was on Caden Mooney. Caden Maloney. Could be wrong on that, but it looked like he was the one in the little rugby scrum with Jacobson got caught. And now another 15-yarder here. Under a minute to go. 35-0. Eagles lead it. The completion by Petty was enough for the first down. He needed about 2, picked up 4, but the penalty puts it all the way back at the 24. Shotgun formation. Romanisky looks. He fakes the handoff. He's going to roll out to the left-hand side and just keep it. And several Vikings there, as Haskins was there on the tackle for Community. And that was definitely a design quarterback keep. It was just a little fake to number 6, Jeremiah Mooney. He went off to the right-hand side, and then Romanisky came out on the left-hand side and was finally brought down. Haskins had him all the way, and they're actually going to let it run out. So that is the end of the first half with your score. The Eagles 35, the Vikings nothing. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back as we take a 20-minute halftime break, but we'll be back to update you with a few scores around the area. But again, we are at the half with your score, Eagleville 35, Community nothing. So we are at the half. 35-0 is our score here in Eagleville. The Eagles over the Vikings. Now we'll take a look at some of the scores around the area of interest. In the second quarter, Oakland leading over Huntington. They are out of West Virginia. That score 21-0. Oakland leads. Another one that is close or somewhat close to this area. Franklin County is playing a game tonight. They are the home team, but playing at Maplewood in Nashville. They're playing Mahwah, New Jersey. And the boys from up north are leading 35-3. Giles County, which obviously is in the region here with Community, they lead over Henry County 20-7. That's a little bit of a surprise. People thought Henry County would play close with them. In the second quarter, this may be a little bit of a shocker. Page is tied with Green Hill 10-10. That one in the second quarter. At the half, Lebanon leads over Siegel 21-3. In the second quarter, Beach leads over Mount Juliet 22-0. And we'll trickle down into some scores are a little bit closer to home. Cornersville, this one a little bit of a shocker to me. At the half, Cornersville leads over Collinwood 17-0. Of course, our score here, 35-0 Eagleville over Community. Fayetteville City leads over Friendship Christian 14-13, but that one is just having the second quarter get underway. It's almost halftime in Loretto. Lawrence County has jumped out all over them 35-0. It's at the half. Shelbyville trails Marshall County 10-7. We do have a score from Cascade and Moore County that just came in. Cascade leads at the half over the Raiders 10-7. Apparently a Hail Mary was thrown at the end by Moore County that found the end zone. So they trail by 3 at the half. Another score of interest because of Community's region. Huntland tonight was taking on Forest. Forest leads at the half 17-12. Some other scores, Wayne County over Summertown 14-13. That's at the half. Macon County over Westmoreland 14-9. That is at the half. The battle for the coffee pot in the second quarter. It is almost halftime, about 36 seconds left in the first half there. It is Tullahoma 19, Coffee County 17. And I believe that is all the scores that I have so far in the area. So there's a few updates for you at halftime. We've got about 11 minutes to go here in the halftime break, so we'll step away again. But again, we are in Eagleville with your score at the half. It's Eagleville 35, Community nothing. We are back in Eagleville. 35-0 is the score. Eagles over the Vikings. About 2 minutes to go until the halftime break is over with, but we'll take a look back at the keys to the game that we mentioned from the get-go. For the Vikings, we said that they had to win the turnover battle, and unfortunately that has not been the case. They have not they've not had the problems that they had last week. Let's try to put this into perspective. Last week, with 5 turnovers there, all one after another, very hard to overcome. But they have had the interception. They have placed the ball on the ground a couple of times. Of course, one of them, luckily, we were able to recover. Second thing, discipline. Believe it or not, I think Community is doing a better job of trying to run the offense. You have to be disciplined. You have to be patient. And it does look like the backs are trying to look for the holes to open up. And it looks like they are not outrunning some of their blockers as I thought they tried to do last week. For the Eagles, keys to the game, we said they needed to jump out early. Obviously, they did right out the gate. Also, stacking the box, we said that would be one of the keys, and they have brought several men down. They've had a 3-man look. They've had a 4-man front. They basically run a 3-4, but they've been walking linebackers down. They have all of their defensive backs in pretty tight, so they have forced Community to try to throw, and there has been some passes that should have been completed. We have open receivers. We've just not been able to hit them. So looking back at the keys to the game, the Eagles running on all cylinders. Vikings still have a few things to work on, a little lackluster in that area. So both teams making their way back onto the field. Just a reminder that with the score being 35-0, there will be a running clock. As long as the deficit is 35 points, the clock will run. Of course, there are some situations where obviously injury timeouts called by either of the teams, and so forth. So a few instances where the clock will stop, but otherwise, if there's a deficit of 35, we'll keep that clock rolling. So again, we're at the half. It is 35-0. Eagleville over Community. We'll take one more final break, and then we'll come back with the second half kickoff. So both teams taking their spots on the field. We do thank you for listening to the Ball Network. Starting up the third quarter, 35-0. Eagleville leads it over Community. The Eagles deferred on the coin toss, so they will be receiving the opening kickoff. And we're going to see a lot of new things as we move along here, because the kickoff is definitely not Jarrett Yancey. And if I'm not mistaken, the kicking is going to be done by number 70, if I'm looking at that correctly. And I don't even have a number 70 on the roster. So that may be 78, Jackson Hoover. And the opening, it is going to be taken all the way. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Breaks to the outside. That is number 9, Kason Puffer. He's already scored once, and he simply just split it right up the gut, then veered off to the right-hand side. Nobody was interested in making a tackle on him. And it is now 41-0. The opening kickoff taken by Puffer. That is his second score of the evening. So as a reminder, the clock will run here in the second half. It is 41-0. We'll await the extra point. Apparently they don't have a backup kicker because number 44, Alex Orabozum, is still in there. Orabozum has hit all of his extra points. Snapping will be Cooper. Blair will hold. The kick is up, and it is true. So with 10:54 and counting now, it is 42-0. Eagleville. Puffer takes the opening kickoff of the second half to the end zone. So the Vikings go with a different kicker to start the second half as far as kickoff duties. Well, I shouldn't say a different kicker. It's a different kicker from last week. That was the first time Community has kicked off. So we'll see if they get another opportunity. If I believe it was number 78, Jackson Hoover, because I thought it was number 70, and I do not have one of those on my roster, so I'm going to assume that 0 was an 8. But anyways, the kickoff goes to the house. It's 42-0, and now the kickoff taken at about the 10-yard line, and Jacobs doesn't have really anywhere to go, as he does return it to roughly the 20-yard line before he is knocked out of bounds. So 9-12 here in the third quarter, 42-0. Eagleville opens the second half with a kickoff return for a score by number 9, Kason Puffer, a sophomore. So let's see who comes out at quarterback for Community. It looks like it is going to be number 3, Charlie Haskins, the junior. And indeed, it is Haskins in there. Looks like Jacobs is going to be one of the wings. And Butler. Now Jacobs pops out into the slot spot. A handoff goes to, I believe that is Garmin. And it was a handoff to Garmin, and he takes a loss. So Garmin brought down in the backfield. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage. We'll still call it 2nd and 10. So they go back to a wing and a slot. Now the wing goes in motion. That's Butler. Haskins back to pass, looking, throws, and it was almost picked off. Number 21, Drake Reminiski, the backup quarterback for Eagleville, was the man lurking, and he almost came up with the pick. He had one last week, and he was trying to get one this week. So Haskins throws. I'm not quite sure who that was intended for, but it's incomplete. And that will bring up another 3rd and long situation. 3rd and about 11. 7:15 and counting. Clock does not stop due to the incompletion because of the mercy rule. So 42-0 if you're just joining us. Eagleville leads it. A wing to the right. Then twin receivers to the left. Handoff. And not much doing. That handoff went to Butler, and I believe that's the first time he has carried it tonight. Picks up about 2, maybe 3. And Community, unfortunately, will be forced to punt it away. 4th down for the Vikings. Back to punt is the backup quarterback Hensel. And Puffer, very dangerous man. He has scored twice. A receiving touchdown, and he took the opening kickoff of the second half back for a touchdown. So he is lurking out there. There's the punt. And it's a little dribbler. And Puffer's just going to let it go, and it will roll down to the Eagleville 39, and that's where they will come out with it. So 5:58 and counting here in the third quarter. 42-0 Eagles. So let's see who comes out at quarterback for the Eagles this time, as they have sent in a lot of young men. There are a lot of new numbers out there. Reminiski, though, is going to stay at quarterback, and Mooney's going to be in the backfield with him. They have 2 receivers to the left-hand side, a solo man to the right, and a tight end also to this right-hand side. Shotgun formation. There's a snap, handoff, and he is brought down in the backfield. Mooney had nowhere to go, and I believe that might have been Butler on the tackle or Jacobs. I can't make out if that was an 8 or a 0. I believe that was number 8, Luis Butler, on the tackle. A loss of 2, and that makes it 2nd and 12. A lot of fresh faces in there for Eagleville across the offensive line. You can tell the size of the players has gone down quite a bit. Shotgun formation this time. Mooney is off to the right-hand side of the quarterback. He'll take the handoff. No, Reminiski will keep it, and he is brought down. No gain. That tackle made by number 7, Gunnar Harden, the freshman. And I'm telling you, this kid is dynamite. He is going to be solid for years to come. He made a tackle last week against Moore County, and that kid's still picking up his teeth. Gunnar Harden, write that one down, a freshman. Tremendous tackle there. Good future in front of him. So a loss on the play, and it's going to bring up about 3rd and 15. Let's see if Community can get the stop. Shotgun formation again for Reminiski. He's got Mooney off to the right-hand side. Twin receivers to the left. He's got Solo and a tight end to the right. Handoff goes to number 7, Caden Maloney. And the tackle, he is upended. Richardson, I believe, was the man to upend him. A generous spot. I thought he was short, and they are going to give him the first down. He's right at the 49, and that's what he needed. I thought he was short of the marker. Generous spot there. So a first down for Eagleville. They convert, and they keep the drive alive. They are at their own 49-yard line. The score 42-0. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Twins to the right. Handoff this time goes to Maloney off the right-hand side, and he is wrestled down. Again, the tackle made by number 2, Richardson, the senior nose tackle. So a pickup of about 1 on that run. It'll be 2nd and 9. And let's see. I believe they have swapped quarterbacks. Number 15, Cooper Marino, he is a freshman. Great last name to have if you're a quarterback. So Marino in the shotgun formation. Hands off to number 34, Michael Green. And Green is brought down. Picks up 4 on the scamper to the left-hand side. He is going to be short of the marker. So the line to gain, he needed about 7 more. So they wrestle him down, and now we're looking at a 3rd and a long 6. Let's see what Community does here as far as the alignment. They do walk a linebacker down in that 3-3 stack look. Twins to the right-hand side. The snap is fumbled, but it's picked up. And that is number 34. It looked like Green was horse-collared. But I'm not sure if even the PA announcer caught it and said brought down by the collar, but I guess the referees have no interest in it. So he is going to be short. He needed to pick up 6. He got about 5. He is a yard short. So here we go. It is 4th and 1. Checking into the ball game. Number 56, Jace Matthews, is back in there for Community. So 4th and 1. Marino in the shotgun formation. Twins to the left. The back is to the left. Handoff. Goes to Green. He has nowhere to go. They had him bottled up, and then he pops out of there down the middle, and he's going to run down the left sideline, and he is finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10. It's on the far sideline. I'm not sure exactly where he went out. But they had Green bottled up. And I thought they were going to come up with a stop, and the young man squirted out of there and went down the left-hand sideline there. And that is going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter as he steps out, I believe, at around, well, we'll see where they mark it when we come back from the quarter break. So we are at the end of the 3rd. We have played 3. It is 42-0 Eagles. So we are back. We're going to start the 4th quarter. Eagleville leading it comfortably 42-0. Just had a long run from number 34, Michael Green. He's actually a senior, but does not see a lot of playing time apparently with the first string. So he is in there right now with the backups. Marino comes out again as the quarterback for Eagleville. He's in the shotgun formation, has a back to the left-hand side. Twins to the left, solo receiver to the right along with the tight end. Shotgun, handoff in the backfield, and there's a flag as the give is to Jeremiah Mooney. Mooney, a sophomore for Eagleville. And it was a short gain on the right side. It was between the guard and the tackles where he ran the football. But another yellow hanky is going to go against Eagleville. So we'll back them up again. We'll replay first down. It is first and goal for Eagleville. The ball resting at the 19, I believe, if I'm seeing it correctly. Shotgun formation. Marino again, the back this time lined up to the left-hand side. And it's a designed run. It's a designed keeper. Marino will keep it on the left-hand side, and there's another hold. That's definitely a penalty there. Marino takes it on the direct snap. Definitely a designed quarterback run the whole way, but this is going to come back as there is another hold out on the perimeter. So, unofficially, I believe that's the 7th holding penalty on Eagleville. I could be wrong. But that will replay first down, so it is still first and goal. It just continues to creep back further and further. It is from the spot. So trying to see, let's see. Looks like it's at about the 21-yard line. I thought the hold took place at the line of scrimmage, so that would be about right. Marino, hands off. Mooney's going to take it on the right-hand side, and he finds a little bit of daylight, but then he is brought down by number 52, Braxton Stacy. He's a junior. Stacy on the tackle. So second and goal. We'll see where they mark the run from Jeremiah Mooney. Eagleville with a methodical drive here. Run a couple plays, go backwards. Run a couple plays, go backwards. Penalties have plagued them. They will have to clean that up as the season continues on. Not going to affect them tonight, though. Marino with twins to the right. The back to the right, handoff. Off left tackle. And looks like Matthews in on the tackle for the Vikings along with Harden, number 7. In fact, he's still on the ground. May just be an equipment issue. Or not. Well, he's bounced back up. The official looked like he was going to call for the sideline to come get him, but now he's bounced back up, and I think he's just going to stay in there. So the ball at about the 8-yard line. It is third and goal on what has been a very lengthy drive because of the back and forth with the penalties. So twins to the right, solo receiver, got a wing off to the right as well. And now another penalty, some movement up front maybe. Look like number 11, Knox Smith, he's a freshman who was lined up out to the left-hand side. Looks like he may have flinched. Well, they come out again. Twins to the right-hand side. Tight ends also to the right. Handoff goes to Michael Green, and Green almost brought down to the backfield. He eludes 2 tacklers and then finally is brought down in the middle. Number 56, Matthews, was in on it along with number 22, Severin Garman. They had him dead to rights in the backfield, and then he slipped through 2 tackles and then squirted out of there. So it'll be fourth and goal. Obviously, Eagleville will go for this. And we may have to take a break and pick up with this broadcast here in 2 minutes. Due to a technical difficulty, there's the handoff to Green, breaks the tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and then finally it looked like Blanton was the man that tried to sling him down, and he is short. He did not make it. That was 4th and goal, so that'll be a turnover on downs. Community comes up with the stop, and with 6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, Community will take over on offense, trailing 42-0. My apologies. We are going to have to end the broadcast. We are going to start it right back up if anybody's interested. But the last 6 minutes will be on another reel. So if you want to join me over there, you can. We will end this one and go live as soon as possible.